Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Rasslin with Redbeard, the YouTube show where I, Redbeard, take you to a professional wrestling event somewhere in or around the Carolinas to give you a sense of what it's like to be a fan traveling the highways and byways in pursuit of this great passion that is professional wrestling. I find myself here today in Gastonia, North Carolina for WrestleMerica's event here. I don't know what the name of this particular show is. It's got something along the lines of WrestleMerica returns to the gas house. I think it has to do with what the National Guard Armory here in Gastonia is referred to. Gas house may also be something in reference to Gastonia itself. I'm not quite sure. Never been to Gastonia before, but I'm looking forward to the show because this is going to be another event put on by a promotion we've not had a chance to visit with previously. So we're hopefully going to have a fun time here because the card is quite stacked. You got a lot of good talent on this show, and that was really what drew me to this particular show this weekend. Had a lot going on. There were 10 shows that I could find listings for online happening in or around the Carolinas this weekend here. You had groups like NWA, well, excuse me, not NWA Anarchy anymore. It's just Anarchy Wrestling now. You had them with their 10th anniversary show over in Cornelia, Georgia. WrestleMerica here in Gastonia. CWS in Asheboro was having a big show up there. 4 or 5 others were happening in South Carolina, oddly enough. You had 3 Count Pro Wrestling. Jackson James was running a show in Walhalla, which I was kind of thinking about going over there, but that just wound up being too far of a drive. But point being, there was a lot going on this weekend, so I had to pick and choose. And because of the card, because of the guys that are on this particular show, I chose to come up here. Mention the card, I'll talk about the fact that they've got a good many members of the Bullet Club appearing here this evening. You've got the bad boy Tama Tonga. You've got Karl Anderson and also Big LG Luke Gallows going to be appearing here this evening, along with Amber O'Neal, of course. And a number of other stars as well. Cedric Alexander, I forget the name of what they're calling themselves nowadays, or what he's calling himself now that he's not in WWE, but the talent who was Camacho in WWE, he's up here. Brian Myers, who was Kurt Hawkins in WWE, they're also going to be involved in this show. So there's a lot of talent on this show, in addition to local guys like Cedric Alexander, Southern Savior John Schuyler, and Brad Attitude, and a couple of others too. So a lot of talent here. It was a pretty easy decision in the grand scheme of things, to be honest with you, based on the length of travel that was required and also the cost of this show, because it's only, I think, $8 or $10 for this card, and for the number of names that are on it, that's not bad at all. So we find ourselves here, like I mentioned, in Gastonia. It's been a while since we've done one of these shows, and there's a lot going on in the world of wrestling, so we'll touch on some things here briefly. Probably the biggest news, I can't say it's the biggest news because there's a lot going on right now. Biggest news is the stuff that's going on with Ring of Honor and TNA and Destination America, the network that they're both now going to be appearing on. A lot of people are under the impression that this is sort of the sign of the news that came out a week or two ago about Destination America canceling the TNA shows as being legitimate. The fact that Ring of Honor is now being brought in, that remains to be seen. I still think we're a couple months away from getting the actual confirmation of what may be happening there. At this point, it looks like Ring of Honor is going to be sort of a lead-in to the TNA product. I think that's a good thing. I think it's a great opportunity for Ring of Honor because they'll get exposure that they've never had before now that they'll be not just appearing on the Sinclair Broadcasting syndicated networks, but also Destination America, which is it's a cable network. It's not, I think, the biggest cable network, but you're talking about 50 some odd million homes that they'll now be able to reach versus whatever they were with previously based on their Sinclair relationship. So you've got that going on there. Like I said, I don't think we're anywhere near seeing the end of that. A lot of things still in the fire as far as what's happening there. I am not one of these people who is somewhat eager to see TNA lose their TV deal, because I think if that happens, you'll have a situation erupt to where you'll have people losing jobs and potentially, a company, you hate to think of them possibly going under, but it's one of those things where you just don't know. It's kind of been touch and go with them for a while, and If it does pan out that Destination America decides to cancel their programming, then that's going to be twice that they found themselves being canceled. One with Spike TV, and then possibly here with Destination America. That's not good. Rarely do you see a program that gets a chance on a second network like that, but it happens. Wrestling is one of those things that networks will try and reach out to because of the fact that it's relatively cheap to produce and easy to work with. But if it doesn't bring in advertising, they're not going to keep it around. And that seems to be the case with what's happening with TNA right now. But regardless of that, other big news in the world of wrestling, you got debuts of guys like Samoa Joe on NXT, debuts of guys like Kevin Steen on the main roster, or excuse me, Kevin Owens. I won't say Kevin Steen. He's not Kevin Steen anymore. Still guys wearing those Fight Steen fight shirts and whatnot, so you got to give him some credit and give him an allowance for that. But it's mind-boggling to me that you've had forever this sentiment that guys from the independent scene weren't that valuable, and then here within the past year and a half you've had almost seemingly nothing but internationally known stars who've had shots in the independents in this country and others who are now coming up through WWE and are just tremendous talents. Kevin Steen, for example, Kevin Owens, I'm going to keep calling him Kevin Steen, who cares? But Kevin Owens, promos he's been delivering have been top-notch on Raw the past couple of weeks and building up his feud with John Cena. His work in NXT has been great. Of course, he's been feuding with Sami Zayn, but then you also have the fact that he's feuding with several other people. He's got the thing going with Cena, Sami Zayn. He potentially is feuding with Hideo Itami because they kind of hinted at the fact that he was the one who put him on the shelf as far as his shoulder injury is concerned. But, you want to kayfabe that as much as you can because he's got a legitimate injury. But regardless, they're spreading him across the board here, and he's taking the ball and running with it and showing what he's capable of, and that's great. But he's not the only one, because you've got Finn Balor, who's doing a great job. Like I mentioned, Sami Zayn, unfortunately, is dealing with a shoulder injury as well, but he's also one of their top guys. And there's more coming in. You've got just a story here that broke in the past couple of days that there's apparently some interest in AJ Styles from the part of WWE. Which is great. It's going to be a little weird to see him in WWE finally, but it'll be a great thing because they are getting to a point where they need as much talent as they can gather, because from what you read online, there's apparently some plans for next year that are going to involve them running with 3 touring brands. I assume it would be Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, but who knows? Could be several different versions of that particular scenario there, where you have maybe a live show brand or a live show touring group, an NXT group, and then the actual primary TV production group. Here again, we're speculating, but that's something that may be in the works there as well. So just a tremendous amount of things going on. You'll notice that I'm wearing my snazzy new Lucha Underground shirt here. They're a big part of wrestling right now, for me anyway. I know that there are a lot of people who kind of treat it as sort of a hokey, campy type of program, but the fact of the matter is there's not much TV that I look forward to, and I look forward to watching almost NXT. I do look forward to watching NXT, but I look forward to watching Lucha Underground every week. It's just a very entertaining show. The talent they have on there is just ridiculous in terms of their physical abilities. And this past week, I know this is something that may be watched whenever on YouTube, but this past week on the program saw the return of Mil Muertes to the program. And I don't think there's a bigger badass, pardon my French, in wrestling right now in terms of his look and his physique and everything else than Mil Muertes. That guy just looks like, if he walked in a room, and even if he walked in with this gimmick and whatnot, as hokey as it may be, he just looks like somebody that would be a straight killer. He's just a phenomenal talent in terms of his physique and the way he puts the gimmick together. Of course, the whole presentation helps there with the other people that are involved with him. He's been engaged in a feud with Phoenix there for a while. They had, of course, that fantastic casket match here a while back, and they had this match here which was billed as a death match, but that's not really what they truly did. It's just a continuation of the feud. But at any rate, like I mentioned, Lucha Underground, something I look forward to every week, so I encourage you to watch it as well. They may or may not be getting a second season. I certainly hope that they do, because it's a great show, very well produced. I think the expenses are something that may or may not keep them from running it again for a second season, but hopefully they will come back and do it again. But that remains to be seen. We'll cheer for them, and we'll continue to wear the shirt and whatnot to support them. Other things that are going on locally, I'll mention that you've got a lot happening as far as the summer season starting to heat up. Some things that are upcoming for us potentially. You've got Battle Zone Wrestling. They'll be debuting here shortly. Their first show is going to be at, I think it's the Peach Festival in Gaffney. Some friends of mine are involved in that promotion there. I hope that they do well, and I hope that they can keep the momentum going that they've started with putting together their first card. Ultra Wrestle is continuing to have a lot of momentum and going around the western side of South Carolina. It's a part of the world that doesn't really get a whole lot of wrestling, so it's great to see them taking part and building up that particular area. You've still got CWA going strong in Orangeburg. Old School Championship Wrestling and a few other promotions have started to kind of vie for positioning in the Low Country. You've got a group down there called Zenith Pro Wrestling that's having a show this weekend. C4W up in Myrtle Beach, they're having a good string of shows. And just it's almost more than we can talk about in one particular show, and that is a good transition for me, because in talking about wrestling with Redbeard and what I want to do moving forward, you'll notice that this is the first particular episode of the program. This is number 16 that will be appearing on the exclusive Wrestling with Redbeard YouTube channel. Moving forward, I want to do more with the Facebook site, the YouTube channel, Twitter a little bit here and there, more for live results and just my snarky comments more than anything, just because I think that's what Twitter's ultimately good for, to be honest with you. But I want to do more with the program, with the channel, with the Facebook site, because of the fact that I feel like I don't get to produce content frequently enough as far as these episodes are concerned. We've gotten into a pattern of getting to about one show a month, and I think that's a reasonable thing, because of the fact that I'm a working guy with a family at home. I don't feel like I should be leaving them for what will, in this case here, be a full day away from my family. But at any rate, it's just one of those things to where I want to do more. I want to do some like weekly update type shows and that type of thing. That way I can bring more content out, and that's the ultimate goal here, is to continue to grow the brand and continue to bring what I hope will be something that people want to watch and want to see, and continue to hopefully reach out and succeed in bringing attention to the talent and the promotions that exist in this part of the world. That's always been the goal of this program, is to show off what we've got happening in the Carolinas, because it seemed to me that you get a lot of attention to the Northeast, you get a lot of attention out west, but there's never that much attention brought to what happens in the Carolinas, with the exception of a few staunch individuals here and there who have really done a lot of work to try and keep it going. But I wanted to do my part, and that's what this is all about. You'll notice that on the Facebook page I do a lot of comments about stories and whatnot, and that's part of it too, just to keep the page alive and to have content going there. But if there's news that's happening out of the region, we always bring it to the Facebook page there. And I hope to, in the few coming weeks, to also have a few other things that are going to be rolling out there too. But that will be forthcoming. So, at any rate, it's kind of early in the day. Some friends of mine and I are going to be meeting up here at Highway 55 Burgers, Shakes, and Fries here for a bit of pre-show shenanigans. But we'll be having a meal, and then we'll be heading over to the venue. Again, this is Wrestling with Redbeard, episode 16 for WrestleMerica. WrestleMerica. I can say that better. WrestleMerica. Not everything is wrestling, even though it really could be. Again, this is WrestleMerica and episode 16 of Wrestling with Redbeard. So,
that pretty,
How's it going, man? This is general admission? Huh? General admission?
Okay, floor or bleachers?
Bleachers.
All right. $1, $2, $10.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead and sit.
Appreciate that. intermission is, as you can tell by the look at my face, I am a little bit red-cheeked right now. It's because of the fact there's no air conditioning in this building. It's been a pretty good show, but the heat is getting a little insufferable. The only air conditioning that we have is a box fan over here in the corner that's supplying not a whole lot of air except to the people sitting at the music booth or sound booth, whatever you want to call it. The good part is there's a drink machine over here serving drinks for 50 cents a pop, as opposed to the snack bar, which is selling them for about $1 a pop. So there's that. But yeah, we're about halfway through. Been a good show. Been a few issues with the referee. I'm not sure if he's forgetting the finish or what, but the end of the four-way match here between Cedric Alexander, Tama Tonga, Brian Myers, and Micah. He appeared to anger Tonga quite badly because Tonga laid in a couple of stiff shots there on him and actually spat at him at the end of the match. So that didn't look too good. But at any rate, hopefully that referee there will have some brain pills fed to him during intermission here, and he'll get back to business. But yeah, otherwise it's been a pretty good show. They really should have sold fans here at some point, because the people who have bought these posters and whatnot, the 8x10s, that are autographed in some cases, are using them for fans. So there's that. But yeah, it's hot, but that's indie wrestling for you. Here we go for the second half of the show. What's up, man?
Wanted to have a cake. That's actually the nugget after that. No one asked him that. Every once in a while, I have a cake. Like he gets to walk around for 30 years with 2x4 for no reason. Nobody questions it. I get a cake.
There you go. folks, that's a wrap on WrestleMerica returns here to the Gas House in Gastonia, North Carolina. As I mentioned during our little intermission talk there, it was very hot in that building, and I look like I have been dipped in some type of grease because I'm sweating from head to toe right now. Very warm in that building. Didn't appear to be any kind of air conditioning whatsoever, and they're talking about coming back in July. This building, I definitely will not be back here. It's just too hot, especially in July. November wouldn't be bad, but summer months, a building like this with no air conditioning is just not something I'm going to pay money to come into, even if it's as little as $8. On top of that, the show, it was not bad. It had a lot of star power here, a lot of interesting names, people that if you're someone like myself, would be interested in seeing, but some of the finishes were sloppy. Some of the referee work, one referee in particular just didn't seem to be with it. I'm not sure what his deal was, but at any rate, still a fun show, fun night out. If you're at all interested in seeing guys like Gallows and the other Bullet Club members, I'm sure they'll be back, because this is a promotion that's in some way, shape, or form, I think it's partially or maybe fully owned by Gallows. But they've got a TV deal that's going to be bringing them to part of Georgia, and some other things going on as well. So if you're interested in following them, check them out on social media. They've got Facebook and Twitter pages. WrestleMerica is who you can look for there. So that's going to wrap it up for us here. Rasslin with Redbeard, episode 16 from Gastonia, North Carolina. Not quite sure where we're going to be going next. It's kind of a toss-up at this point in time between a few different groups, but that'll be happening sometime in June. In the meantime, like I said in the intro to this particular video, we've got a few things coming up in terms of some ideas and some other content that I'd like to throw around. So be sure, if you haven't already, to subscribe to the YouTube channel that you're already watching here, and also to like us on Facebook, and if you want, go ahead and give us a follow on Twitter as well. Links to all that good stuff is going to be available in the description of this video. If you don't have a YouTube account, if you've got a Gmail account, guess what? You do have a YouTube account, so go ahead and click subscribe if you're already signed into your Gmail. But at any rate, we appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to go find some water and maybe something else to drink to keep me awake on my 2-hour drive home. Yeah, fun times. Seeing as how it's a little bit after 10 o'clock right now. So I'll be home somewhere in the area of 1 a.m. Church is fun after a night like this. So that's all for now. We'll see you down the road.